Car. It might not start because it was making that noise yesterday. Yeah.
Reach the point where you feel like making any excuse to avoid your job? Maybe it's time for a change. Southwest Airlines is looking for hardworking, fun-loving folks to fill openings in a variety of airport agent positions right here where you live. This is your chance to start a career at a company recognized by Fortune magazine as among the top 5 best companies to work for in America. So if you're ready for a change that includes free travel, profit sharing, and more, call us at 1-800-SWA-JOBS or submit your resume online at southwest.com. With us, you're free to be yourself, so you're free to be your best. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
Putting your employees in the right uniforms is one of the best ways to control how customers perceive your company. Take a bellman. In his uniform, he's a courteous, trustworthy hotel employee. Out of uniform, he's merely some dude walking away with your luggage. Or a plumber. In uniform, he's a highly skilled stopper of leaks, unstopper of clogs, a savior with a pipe wrench. Take away the uniform, he's just the guy banging around under your sink, revealing a side of himself you'd really rather not see. To get the perfect uniform for the job, talk to Cintas, the uniform people. Our uniforms let you control your corporate image. No matter what your employees do, Cintas will make them look better on the job and feel better about their jobs. You can set up a Cintas uniform program that includes our flawless pickup, cleaning, and delivery. For a free catalog, call 1-800-CINTAS-1. Are your uniforms saying the right thing about your company? Don't take chances. Call Cintas today.
Hello?
Tony, guess where I'm calling from?
Tina?
The ball game. Hey, better.
No way. You got a wireless phone?
Yeah, from Car Toys. Come on, swing!
Tina, you went to Car Toys?
Look, Car Toys is the only place where I found all the best deals, so I could compare them side by side.
Well, you are the shopping queen.
And while other places had a few phones, Car Toys had 40 models to choose from.
Right now at Car Toys, for just $30 a month, get 250 anytime minutes and 1,000 free weekend minutes for life. That's 1,250 minutes for only $30, including free nationwide long distance from Verizon Wireless. Plus, get a better than free digital phone, $70 of free accessories, and a $50 cashback rebate. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
How'd you know which one to pick?
I just asked a Car Toys expert. Oh, yeah, baby!
Now at Car Toys, for just $29.99 a month, get voicemail, a custom greeting, a free pager, plus unlimited paging for 3 months. 30 stores, including Puyallup, Silverdale, South Center, and Olympia. Call 1-888-CAR-TOYS.
We still have an accident working that's been there for some time. Northbound 405 just south of I-5 up at the Swamp Creek interchange. So from 195th at the county line, northbound 405 is very ugly all the way up to your interchange. Once you break free of that, you'll do okay. And we do have slowing down northbound I-5 just north at 272nd. An accident has been pushed to the shoulder there. So as you approach 272nd, things will slow you down. I'm Carolyn Coffey, KISW Traffic.
9 FM, KISW, Seattle, 8:45. In just a few minutes, we're going to speak to a man who says that Jim Morrison is alive and well, living in a ranch in Oregon. That was debated for a while after the death of the leader of the Doors, but we've even interviewed other members of the band, and he's dead.
Well, that's not what Gerald Pitts claims.
All right. Gerald Pitts is going to be on with us in just a sec. Before we go, Mike says we should have one more caller on with his story. I fell asleep on the job. Scott Incarnation, what were you doing at the time?
How's it going, Bob, Joe?
Good.
How you guys doing?
All right, good.
I was working it was my second full-time job at a gas station in Renton.
All right.
And I worked the 10 till 6 in the morning shift.
Ouch.
And this was probably about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, and sitting in the chair, not too many customers coming around, and I fell asleep. And this lady pulls up. I must have been asleep for about 15, 20 minutes. This lady pulls up, and I wake up. I go to stand up, and the whole right side of my body's asleep, just numb. And I fall, and I'm on the floor. Just about the time she gets to the door, I'm trying to get myself up, and she looks in and just freaks and takes off running and got in her car and split. Well, I figured no big deal, whatever. I scared her. got back in my chair. About 5 minutes later, cops show up. They're pounding on the door. She went and told them I got robbed. She thought I got shot, and I'm laying on the ground dying in this gas station. It's pretty funny.
Scott, you're a winner. Hang on. 99.9 FM KISW. Remember the Doors? God, we all love that band. It was really kind of quick how their recording career came to a sudden end when Jim Morrison passed away. Now, of course, there were rumors, just as there are with Elvis Presley, and there's no rumors about Jimi Hendrix, are there?
In fact, yesterday was the 30 years to the day that Hendrix met his fate.
Hendrix. But there's occasionally rumors that the Lizard King is alive and well, and they say he's in country and western music now.
That's what this man says, at
least. Gerald Pitts is an Oregon man who says he represents Jim Morrison. He's his agent. And he says Jim Morrison is living on a ranch and negotiating a starring role in a western action film. How did we find this guy?
He will not speak to just anybody, so I know Mike had to jump through a few hoops to get Mr. Pitts on the line.
Huh. Mike? Is he one of those, like, fake radio guests?
No, not at all. He is totally sincere.
He is, okay.
You'll be able to tell in his voice.
All right, and his name is Gerald Pitts. Let's bring Gerald up right now. Gerald, are you there?
Yes.
Gerald, what kind of a last name is Pitts? Is that
It's supposed to be English.
It is English?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, neat. Gerald, what do you do for a living?
I'm a rodeo photographer and an auctioneer and a publisher, and I have a film production company called Rodeos West Motion Pictures. We film rodeos.
Got it. You've met a man who says he's Jim Morrison?
Yes.
And you're convinced he is Jim Morrison?
We've got the proof that it is him.
How?
Well, I'll play you a short excerpt of his voice. Recorded at his kitchen table with the Doors music in the background. He talks a little bit and then sings a couple of his lyrics.
All right, go ahead.
I got it to you right here. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Moonlight Drive. Oh, what? This is what I wrote on the beach one time. This is what I told Raymond Eric. I wanted to start a band. It's the first song that came out. Time to ride the ocean on a moonlight drive.
That's the man, believe it or not.
Now, all right, I'm trying to imagine Jim Morrison, if he were alive today, he'd be clawing at the lid of his coffin,
yes,
of course. But if he were alive today, sitting at a kitchen table with Doors music on, if I'm Jim Morrison, I say, turn that crap off. He's listening to his own music at this age? How old would he be, first of all?
Well, he's 56 and I'm 55.
Did you know him for a long time, or how did you come to meet the Mr. Morrison here?
I met him by chance at his ranch. I photographed cowboys and so forth, and my rodeo announcer, who's also a timber faller, and I drove up into his yard one day because he needed some timber fell around his house.
Okay. Now, he's sitting there in that kitchen table scene talking to you about Ray Manzarek?
Well, the day we drove up into the yard there, he was tending to his horses.
And did he know you were taping him?
No, we didn't know that it was Jim Morrison at the time. The reason we met him is because we were called up to fell that timber around his house for him.
Do you tape everybody that you sit at the kitchen table with?
Let's see, there was my son, myself, and Jim Morrison.
That's not what I...
But how did you happen to have a tape of this encounter?
Well, I met him in '98, and the reason I met him is I was filming my rodeo announcer cutting the trees down around his place.
Uh-huh.
And then Jim spied the cameras. One thing led to another, and after a couple of weeks there, we kind of bonded up there. And then he indicated who he was. And then for about 3 or 4 weeks after that, I began my research and discovered it was, in fact, Jim Morrison.
What sort of research proves that it's him?
I took and read his books and so forth, and let me give an example. He has a certain colors to his eyes. And so, at any rate, when I read it out of the history book there, I drove up to his place, And I took just a couple of moments there to look into his eyes with his hands over the corral there when he's looking over the cattle there.
Gerald, does Jim know that you're on the radio with us?
I am Jim Morrison's agent.
Can we talk to Jim? What does it
Yeah,
take
why doesn't he, the agent...
Come to Prospect, and we can make arrangements, and I'll be glad to introduce you to him, yes. Under the right arrangements, conditions.
Prospect, Oregon.
Prospect, Oregon, yeah.
How far of a drive is that from Seattle?
Seattle, gosh, I don't know. You know where Medford, Oregon is?
Yes.
Okay, we're down in southern Oregon here.
Oh.
You know, we're by Crater Lake National Park.
It's not that far away.
No.
6 or 7 hours drive, but really only a few hours by plane.
Yeah.
Is there an airport in Medford?
Yes, there is.
Gerald, I'd be kind of scared going to your place, actually.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's Oregon, it's the middle of nowhere, and you claim to know Jim Morrison. I just...
Okay, well, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion.
Maybe that's how you meet young boys. I don't know.
I just find it odd that he would want... Well, does he want to come out now? I mean, after all these years of seclusion, why now and why you?
Yes, he's ready to come out, but you'll see him when he's appearing in the feature-length motion picture we're putting together right now.
Why, Gerald, is this not a huge news story?
Well, we were cautious how we were coming out. We're coming out really easy with it, and I've known him for 2 years. I had all my research work done, had to make sure it was him, had to make sure the scars were in the right place. He's a little bit pigeon-toed. He has a certain rock to his shoulders, and yeah, and you have to chase all that information down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you notified besides us?
Well, that's kind of interesting the way you said that. We have our Rodeos West motion picture crews, and our crew has all been working together on it.
Okay.
And in Ginger Rogers' secretary, Earlene Thompson, has been following it, and anyway, she suggested we get a hold of Cindy Adams with the New York Post. So on June the 27th of 2000, Cindy Adams published it there in the New York Post.
New York Post.
2 o'clock that morning while my phone started ringing, and then we finally got the ball rolling.
But that was June 27th, and this is September 19th.
Right.
How come it hasn't appeared in the New York Times yet?
Well, you know, I had we filmed a Rodeo Stagecoach Specialty Act with Jim Morrison in it over in Eastern Oregon. We got that all on motion picture form, transferred it to video, and Fox here locally was going to air that movie short, and we turned the video in, and then a couple of weeks later they called up and said that they couldn't air it because of estate implications.
You know, Gerald, be honest. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you got Jim Morrison or not. I don't know, but I know why they're not reporting on it.
Oh, good. I'd like to know too.
Well, because they think you're a kook.
Well, that's their problem, not mine.
I mean, they think you're lying, right?
Well, that's their problem, not mine.
But this man...
I know you are, but what am I?
I don't care what they say. All I know is it's Jim Morrison.
If it is, I think the world certainly would want and need to know.
Yes, absolutely.
You would think a news crew would come out there. Is he willing to be filmed? Is he willing to be cross-examined or questioned?
We do all the filming and everything, but when he's in the movie being filmed, we're making arrangements for press to come in and interview him when we're filming in the motion picture there.
Gerald, if we make arrangements for a first-class ticket on a Horizon Air from Medford to Seattle, would you send Jim Morrison up to spend an hour with us on the radio?
No, but you can come down here. We've been invited to go to Hollywood last year, and then Jim won't go back down. He won't get back into that.
He might like it up here in Seattle, though. It's a much nicer town.
Is it pretty nice up there?
A lot of huge celebrities come up here just to get away from it.
A lot of them die here, too. I mean, you could visit Jimi Hendrix's grave.
It's right next to my house. I'd be honored to take him.
What's the weather up there like these days?
Pretty murky and rainy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, we got sunshine down here.
Medford is
and that's a reason not to come?
It's a nice town.
Yeah. Why did, I'm going to pursue. Why did Jim Morrison drop out of the scene, and how did he fake his own death?
Well, he knew if he kept going on that he was going to die anyway. And
all he had to do was quit drugs, not music.
Yeah, well, he had, as you know as well as I do, he had problems with that.
Yeah.
And he knew if he continued on, he wouldn't make it. So he went over to Paris there, and that's when he disappeared there.
Well, he died.
Yeah, well, that's what they say.
Well, they have a body.
Well, I don't care what body's in there. It's not Jim's.
How do you get from Paris to Medford? What were the steps in between there?
Well, he changed his name to a French name, of course, because that's where he disappeared. And then, of course, he came back over to America, and I didn't meet him until 1998.
What name is he going by?
I can't give you that. I'm under contract. I got to keep my job, boys.
Got it. So you're Jim Morrison's agent. Interesting. Does he want to get back into the world? Does he want to become a star, or does he? I mean, this is if he's really hiding out.
He wants to reappear in this motion picture, and he'll cut a few new songs. He's thinking of what they call rodeo rock and country western.
Got it. By the way, according to Gerald, Jim has recorded some new music with a country western flavor, living on the ranch in Oregon, and is starring in a western action film that Gerald is looking for investors to help back. Is that right?
Yes.
And
now, you said something about recording. He hasn't recorded anything yet. However, I got an hour of recording of Jim Morrison, just like you heard, a whole long hour of it with all the other different songs, so that there's no doubt in your mind as to who it is.
So he sang at the kitchen table so that you'd have proof?
That's right.
How would he feel about making a killer 24-track demo using the same gear he used back in the 60s?
You'd have to check with my sound technician on that. His name is Mike Sabatini with MGS Studios. He's in Shady Cove.
MGS in Shady Cove.
Because we've got a really nice studio at our access up here for something like that.
Well, Mike is from Paramount. He's up here retired from Paramount. And he's part of our crew. We've been working with him a long time. I have to work with him.
I understand you've also spoken with the National Enquirer?
Well, sort of and sort of not. They apparently had made a statement on National Enquirer show that if Jim would step forward, he had so many extra royalties available to him. And when I heard this, and I had to go over to Jim's and talk to him about it, he said, "Gerald, don't worry about it. They're just trying to set a hook."
Yeah, those guys, you can't trust them. They make up stuff all the time.
Right.
Would you accept questions from the listening audience?
Yes.
Gerald Pitts on the phone, 421-ROCK, 1-800-783-ROCK. I'm sure there are Doors fans in the audience now that are either thrilled or outraged. We'll let you talk with Gerald after this.
Why is Napa Auto Parts different from all those other stores? There's about 250,001 reasons. With over 250,000 top-quality parts and accessories, Napa has the largest inventory of parts anywhere in the country. The other reason is our people. At Napa, you're dealing with professionals, parts professionals. You'll talk only to men and women who really know auto parts. People who will answer your questions, give you advice, and sell you only the parts that will keep your vehicle running strong. Before you trust your vehicle's performance to just any brand of auto parts, join your friends and neighbors across the nation who've kept their vehicles running faithfully with Napa Auto Parts. A 75-year tradition of dependability, quality, and value. Napa Auto Parts. Better products, better prices.
Visit your local Western Washington Napa Auto Parts stores.
You and me together, baby. That's the way it's meant to be. Da, 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 da. Ladies and gentlemen, the Brian Nolan Band. I'd like to send this one out to the band. Da, da, da.
Some private concerts don't deserve an audience. Some do. The Beck Spotlight Series presents Third Eye Blind Live. Your chance to win seats for you and a friend to one of 3 private concerts. Choose Chicago, New York, or San Francisco, and we'll fly you there to see the show and meet the band. Enter where Beck's beer is sold or at becksbeer.com. Third Eye Blind Live from Beck's, a beer apart. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends October 31st, 2000. Must be legal U.S. resident, 21 or older to enter. Void where prohibited. See official rules of participating Beck's retailers or at becksbeer.com for full details. Imported by Beck's North America, Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay, we need a better name for the Nextel free incoming calls promotion. Ideas?
Check this one out. Approaching cellular waves for zip.
Next.
SKNP.
SKNP.
Somebody calls and you no pay.
Okay, we're going to go with free incoming calls.
Now when you sign up for a Nextel National Business Plan by September 30th, you'll get free incoming cellular calls through December 31st, 2001. With Nextel, you've got more ways than anyone to communicate with everyone, including digital cellular, Nextel online wireless internet services, and Nextel Direct Connect, the digital two-way radio feature on our Motorola phones. Want free incoming calls? Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9 and sign up for a Nextel National Business Plan today. Nextel, how business gets done. Certain restrictions apply, subject to terms of a one-year promotional agreement.
Now, when you buy a Nextel wireless internet-ready digital phone, you'll get an identical phone totally free. Prices as low as $99.99. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. Offer ends October 31st, 2000. New activation required and subject to terms of a one-year promotional agreement. Certain restrictions apply.
Finally cleared an accident northbound 405 just south of I-5 up at the Swamp Creek interchange in the north end. It has been there for some time, but the backup still remains from 195th as you head all the way up toward your interchange with 405 and I-5. It is very ugly through that vicinity. Southbound still struggling as well as you leave the Swamp Creek interchange on and off past 522 down into Kirkland this morning. I'm Carolyn Coffey, KISW Traffic.
Thank you, Carolyn. 2 past 9, KISW Seattle. Gerald Pitts, are you still with us?
Yes, sir, I sure am.
Gerald believes that Jim Morrison is alive, and Gerald believes that Jim Morrison is his neighbor living on a ranch, and also Gerald believes that he is Jim Morrison's agent. And Jim Morrison is coming back as a country and western star and starring in a western action film that Gerald needs investment money for. Now, Gerald, I'm suspicious. I think you're just promoting your movie.
Well, that's also true.
I know.
I just happened to run into Jim Morrison, and that's also true.
All right. Let's go to the phones and see what the audience would like to know from you.
Sure.
First caller is Joe in Kent. Joe, say hi.
Hey, Gerald, how you doing?
Real good, Joe. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Got a quick question for you. Actually, if this is actually Jim Morrison,
sure.
Wouldn't you have more definitive evidence, say, like fingerprints or a picture or something where, you know, we're not thinking you're a whack job?
Okay, Joe, when he signed on for the motion picture there, I put his thumbprint right by his name.
You've got his thumbprint?
Absolutely.
Can we see it?
Yeah, if you want to come on down, take a look at it.
We're not going to come to Prospect, Oregon.
Sure, well, you know, if it's a big enough story, it's worthy of it.
What about, can you put it on the web?
We are on the web.
Okay.
And we're in process. We had one web and it crashed because of too many hits. And then we rebuilt it, and then we're in process of building the final web.
All right. This is Joe in Tacoma. Joe, go ahead with your question for Gerald Pitts.
We just had Joe, I think.
Joe?
Yes, I'm here.
Bob.
Oh.
Joe, go ahead.
Am I on there?
Yeah, you be on the air, Joe.
This is Joe in Seattle.
It says Tacoma. Go ahead, Joe.
Anyhow, man, I personally, I got to call bull shrimp. How does this guy... I think he's being duped here, you know? I mean...
So you think he really believes it, but he's being fooled?
Yeah.
Well, did he hear the recording we put on the air here a little bit ago?
Yes, we all heard that. It was kind of weak.
Well, yeah, because we're transferring the too many times.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I just don't buy it.
Thank you, Joe. Whoops, sorry. Go ahead, Gerald.
Released here right shortly, and if you want to get my phone number over the air, why I'll make those cassettes available for people to have.
All right, here's Michael in Seattle. Michael.
Just curious when we're going to hear some of the music and, like, you know, a CD or see a movie or...
It'll be a cassette first, Mike.
It'll be a cassette first.
Right.
Why aren't we putting that on disc?
Well, that will come later.
This is Oregon. This is Prospect, Oregon.
Yeah, we're a little behind. We're right there, but we're still a little behind, boys.
Do you have anything on 8-track?
No, just cassette at this time.
All right, thanks.
Wilkie, you've been
cassette is the preferred method of listening for most country and western fans.
Is it really?
Well, sure.
It's actually cheaper to burn a disc these days than to put it on a cassette.
I'm learning that, yes.
All right. Let's say hi to Jana in Tacoma. Jana, hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, Gerald, I got a couple questions here for you. Well, actually just one. How's he look these days? Is he still as sexy as ever?
He's slim and trim, and he's in good shape. He still has young blood. He's just in an older container.
Does he
Nothing wrong with that.
Does he have his hair still?
Yeah, he has long hair, and but last year he cut it short, but it's getting long again.
Are there any pictures of him on the website?
Yeah, we do got one on one website, Jan, but that website is real long. Call your radio station. I'll give it to him a little later.
We'll put it up on put it up on KISW.com so
that'd be fine.
you can click on it later.
It's a long website, so bear with it.
Jana?
Yes.
Did you have a thing for Jim Morrison, it sounds like?
Oh, I still do.
You really? Even at 55, you'd be there?
Oh, no kidding.
Would you travel to Prospect for an encounter with Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Would you be our ambassador?
I would love to go down there and see
If
him.
we fly you down to Medford, Oregon, will you go? And by the way, is Jim married?
Don't do it.
Yes, he is.
He is married. Oh.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really talk about his family, but he is married. He is married to a woman doctor. They got married in 1995.
Bummer.
Even married, I'd love to see him.
You would?
Oh, God, yes.
He's still the same.
We have to send somebody to investigate.
He's a real gentleman, pretty reverent these days.
Let's put an APB out in the audience. Is anybody going to Prospect or Medford anyway on business? And
You can give my phone number out if you want.
Yeah, we will get a correspondent down there to check it out. Thank you, Jana.
Okay, thank you.
Next is Tony. Tony is in Woodinville. Tony.
Hey, Bob, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, my question to Gerald is, why doesn't he take Jim? He says he has access to a recording studio. Why doesn't he take him into that quiet setting so we can actually hear Jim? This recording that he played is a joke.
That is, the right setting is available for him. The time just hasn't been right.
The time has not been right.
It's getting close.
There's no time like the present there, Gerald.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Take him into the recording studio, nice quiet setting. Actually, let him record, go ahead and take him into the recording studio and record his voice singing one of the old Doors songs.
We've got one. It's inside. We got one within our crew.
You got one here?
No, we got one here in the Prospect area.
You got anything else you can play us, Gerald?
Yes, I can. I got to queue up a little bit.
All right, hold on. We'll let you queue up.
Can you come back to me in a couple of minutes?
Do you have to queue it up, or do you have an assistant?
Well, I don't.
It's kind of a small operation down there. Yeah. It's not quite the entourage that Jim used to have. Here's Wes in Renton. Hello, Wes.
Hi, how you doing, Bob?
Pretty good.
All right.
Hey, I have a question that Jim really wants to come out. Why has he not contacted any other members of his band who could lend some credibility to the statement?
I'm sorry, say again?
Why have none of the other Doors members been contacted?
We've tried to get a hold of them. I wrote them several letters, and I never could get an answer back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Freeman Drake lives down on Rodeo Drive there in Hollywood.
Yeah, Rodeo Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Ryan in Kirkland. Ryan, hello.
Hi, I'll be in Medford on Thursday.
You gonna be in Medford on Thursday?
Have you stopped by?
We're gonna hire you for the show for one day.
Can I take a picture with my digital camera?
No, I have pictures supplied for you. We've already got them all done.
You can't. Wait a minute. He can't meet him if he goes down.
Well, no.
So he's gonna meet you.
It can meet me and make arrangements to meet Jim later. Yes, we can do that.
Is there a fee or what kind of arrangement?
No, I have a media agreement for people that meet him.
Which is?
It's a long sheet of paper.
What does it say?
Well, it's just our. I don't want to sit and talk about it. It's just a regular media agreement and so forth.
Ryan, hold on.
We got to be cautious of security problems.
Oh, absolutely. Ryan, hold on, okay?
Yeah.
We'll get your information.
Guy there Thursday. What does he need to? What do we need to do?
Just have him give me a call, and we'll make arrangements to meet him here.
You're a JT so far, Gerald.
What's that?
A Jim tease.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, I mean, you don't really want him out. You just want to tease about it. You just want to create the illusion.
We've got a cassette tape ready to get out if you want to go ahead and let folks know about that.
That explains that. All right, here's Sean in Seattle. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Bob. Joe Spike. Love your show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering, what was his deciding factor in wanting to come back out into the spotlight?
He's ready, and he wants to set some records straight.
But why now? Why after so many years? Why is he doing this?
I really don't know.
You have to ask him.
And clean and sober?
Yes.
See,
He's drug free. He still likes his brewskis.
You too?
Me too.
Doubt it.
I have one in the evening once in a while. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
All right.
is he a good cattleman? Is he good at raising cows?
Well, mostly he's got horses, and he enjoys his work. He's got a pack string that he's putting together.
This is Chelsea in Vashon Island. Chelsea, hello.
Hello. I'm just calling because I want to know how the hell to get down there.
You're going to go down, aren't you?
I would like to go down, yeah.
Will you
Come
be
down I-5, and I think you can cut off there at Roseburg and come over Diamond Lake Cutoff, and then I'm in Prospect here.
Okay.
By the way, if a listener wants to investigate this tomorrow, we'll get a cell phone to you, and we'll stay in touch with you every step of the way.
Oh, you will?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You want to be our correspondent? Chelsea?
I want to be your correspondent?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
How old are you?
I am actually 15, but I'm with my mom.
Oh, no.
I'm with my mom, though.
Will your mom take you?
Yeah, she's 41.
Is she there right now?
Yeah, she's here right now, sitting with me.
What's her? And by the way, what did she name you? Is she sorry she named you Chelsea after the Clintons had that daughter, Chelsea? Are you prettier than her?
I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
She didn't name me after the president's daughter, though.
No, what did they name you after? Like a grandmother or something?
No, they just like the name.
Okay. Probably Joni Mitchell song, right?
Joni Mitchell.
Chelsea Morning, isn't that what the
my
Clintons
name
chose?
that my aunt wanted me to be.
Okay.
What'd your aunt want you to be?
What was it again, Mommy? That she wanted to call me? Gracie J. After that really wild, Grace Jones.
Got it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Gracie J.
I feel a lot more better about my name.
All right. Well, Chelsea's a cute name. Unfortunately, sorry about the first daughter. All right. Let's talk to your mom.
Okay. Yeah. Hello.
Hi. Your name?
My name is Terry.
Terry?
Uh-huh.
You want to take your daughter and go on a Jim Morrison crusade?
Well, she's 15 and she's a homeschooler. And she's been researching 60s and 70s rock bands.
Ah.
And so she's been reading a lot of stuff about Jim Morrison and the Doors and Led Zeppelin and Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix.
So this could be a report, track it down, whether it's true or not. It would be interesting. All right. Anything you want to ask Gerald, Terry, while you got
I
it?
just want to know if it would be something that we could actually do, if he would allow us to come down and do some research and...
Yes, Terry, if you'd like to make arrangements, I'd be glad to work with you.
Oh, we'd love to. We have family that live down in Portland, Oregon.
Uh-huh.
So way south of Portland, quite a way.
We would, by the way, the station would have no official connection.
That'd be fine.
But if we did, we would have you sign something. It'd probably be a disclaimer as thick as the phone book. It would be big.
Be more than a sheet.
Yeah. Hold on a second, okay?
Okay, thanks.
We'll put you guys together. Stand by.
Thanks.
Gerald?
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not buying it.
Well, that's up to you.
Bob Rivers in Twisted Radio in the morning.
Is this program being recorded?
With Maura Delucci. KISW, Seattle.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that.
You think that's a good idea?
As long as you don't follow it to Prospect, I'll feel you'll be set.
I think he's harmless. I don't know. There's got to be some guy down there that he feels is at least a good sound-alike.
No, it's clear to me. Don't you know from the sound of someone's voice when they're totally, they know they're lying and they don't care? That's totally what I got out of his voice.
I got a little scared. I think the guy's capable of some things that maybe you shouldn't subject our listeners to.
You mean don't send them down?
I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
I would have a nice long talk with that woman, especially bringing her daughter. Come on. But then,
you're right.
I'm just an overprotective parent.
No, I think that's
when my
a good
son
instinct.
and I have adventures, it's like going to the school and bringing a scooter, and I sit there and watch him play on his scooter for 10 minutes, and that's our idea of a pretty wild adventure. So we don't get out much.
I think Gerald's fine. And just because he thinks his neighbor's Jim Morrison and he's representing him as his manager and making a Western movie with him, I think he's perfectly fine.
Maybe that daughter should research psychology instead of pop stars from the 60s.
9:15. That was your cue, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right. You don't know all the tricks Maura knows
No,
yet.
well, I didn't know, since I'm filling in for her, usually intro me, so I didn't know if I needed to do that myself or not. So
sometimes we
sorry.
like to we mix it up.
I'm sorry. Well,
That's all right, Kirsten. Go
I'll
ahead.
be quicker on the uptake this time. But this is Kirsten Kendrick in for Maura Gallucci today. And in the news at this hour, the Coast Guard is rushing to the spot where a hijacked Cuban plane is reported down in the Florida Straits between the U.S. and Cuba. As many as 18 people may be on board the Russian-made float plane. Airport officials in Miami say the plane did not have a full load of fuel when it left Cuba. The polls are open for today's state primary, and all registered voters are being urged to cast their ballots. They will stay open until 8 o'clock tonight. And there are so many absentee ballots being cast this year, the final results of tonight's elections may not be known for a few days. And it was the GOP's turn on Oprah today.
Please welcome Republican presidential candidate and the governor of Texas, George W.
Bush telling Oprah at this morning's taping that he defines himself as a, quote, dad, a husband, and a patriot. And he tells viewers he wants to be known by his heart and doesn't want anyone left behind if he's elected. Of course, Al Gore was on the show exactly 1 week ago.
By the way, a dad? What did you say?
A dad, a husband, and a patriot.
Is there some presidential candidate that wouldn't take all three of those?
Probably not. Not that I know of. And here's some funny news this morning. When it comes to washing one's hands after using the toilet, it appears many folks are likely to lie about it than actually do it.
The American Society of Microbiology concedes there's some initial humor to all of this, but adds it's a most serious subject when you understand the more hand washing, the less reliance there will be on antibiotics. Hand washing is the most effective thing people can do to reduce the spread of infectious disease.
Most people are...